Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me again is Kaartik Gor. He was here on the day of elections on November 5th when the counting had started, and he's back here again because there are still some dark clouds hovering around Donald Trump. To understand what are the legal challenges still left and what is the path he should take, let's welcome Kaartik Gorji. Before that, please like this video. Kaartik ji, Namaskar, Om Namah Shivaya, Ram Ram, how are you?
Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Namah Shivaya. All good. Thank you so much for inviting me again.
Kartik ji, it's always a pleasure to have you on our channel. The astrological predictions can be difficult as many were proved wrong, and at least you had said that if everything goes right, provided some proviso, Trump should win. I think those provisos still stand because the Department of Justice has actually taken off all their cases against Trump. But there are some state cases. For example, in New York, and Letitia James, the Attorney General, a very questionable case, court verdict that she got for 34 counts. And this one, the media continues to say this president is a criminally indicted man, and so on and so forth. What is Trump's chart saying, and what do you think is going to play out in the next 3 months? I think beyond 3 months, I don't see anything happening. In this 3 months, he still has some navigation to do.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I want to congratulate every US citizen who has gone out and voted. If you remember from day one, what I have been saying is in a fair election, Trump is winning hands down. But there were two riders which I had kept. One was Jupiter, which was judiciary. Second was Rahu, which was deep state. And to a large extent, we did see how it panned out. So it was not a false alarm or a false flag operation, or neither was it just fear mongering. It was pure Jyotish and pure Raj Jyotish, to be very specific. Now, coming to the question is in terms of the judiciary part, right? Is he safe? I would say that no, he is not safe, because I'm very clear that they will try their best. They will try their last ditch attempt to hamper him or to just ensure that there are enough doubts being created. And that's going to be there, frankly speaking, till approximately May 2025. So till mid of 2025, there is a legal sort of hurdle. There is a space where his lawyers will have a lot of midnight oil to burn to save him. And that is going to happen. The logical or Jyotish reasoning is that the Sudarshana is in the Lagna. And based on which, obviously, he has won the election. Mangal is the ninth lord. But Mangal is also got a lot to do with the legal fraternity. And since it is in Lagna, everything has to be about him. So what am I trying to say? The cases or his enemies would be gunning for him. It's not like his government, his administration, or something where he's part of, but it is purely him. So it is not like an Imran Khan thing that, okay, fair enough, this thing was done, where 2 3 things were involved and your party was involved and you were also part of the 9th May, and since you are the head of your party, you are indicted into it. That's not the case with Trump. Since it is in Lagna, it's all about him directly. So that clearly is there, and that is going to be there, in fact, till mid of next year. So even once he is sworn in, hopefully, fingers crossed, let us hope everything goes fine. The Murata in which he is going to do the swearing in. More importantly, because Murata is almost confirmed, right? It is always at on the 20th
21st
of
January or something, 20th.
yeah, 20th of Jan is what I heard, and the time is also more or less thing. But what we are looking at is nimittas, the omens around it. And omens, you remember, one of the time Obama had to be sworn in 2 times because there was some mistake that he did while reading the oath, and they had to redo it. Or in Modi ji's case, we saw a cat going around,
Right,
whereby
right.
we could understand that, okay, this was all about Mesha, and that is going to be our predominant Lagna Lord. So those things we will be able to do in much in advance once that swearing in happens and we are able to see exactly how it goes around. But yes, When it comes to legal cases, I would say that no, he's not yet out. And if at all his legal team or people around him or his close people are a little wary about it, they should be worried, because there is a high possibility and it is there till mid of next year.
Now, Kartik ji, most of the time when we go to Jyotishi, for example, such as yourself, you will read our chart, and we usually go with a problem. When things are good, no Jyotishi ever is consulted. But when things are not so good, that's when we come and ask you, what does my chart say? And you say, okay, this is what it is. And you have a approximate period where things will be tough. But usually you also give something like a parihar, meaning like if you go and pray to this person, if you go and do this will alleviate your challenge, your problem. So is there anything that Team Trump can do that will help them in this cause?
So, see, what we are talking about is basically Vedic remedies. And it's a very nice question, because it gives me a chance in terms of to explain a little in detail in terms of how a horoscope works, right? So, a horoscope is nothing the chart at the birth time, right? So, we were born at a certain date. For example, if I was born on 3rd May at a certain time at a certain place, that is a horoscope which is made based on my past life existences, right? But from the time of birth, also we are doing karmas,
True.
which we call it as kriyaman karma. So that particular karma are also being deposited somewhere. Let us say that way, that all our past life or our natural horoscope or the horoscope of our birth is like a savings account. And the karmas that we are doing and which is being deposited is our current account. So at times that current account can be a big savior. For example, the first assassination attempt on Trump, where he just missed by whisker, right? So we say that it is years, and the 3rd house is associated with the hearing part of it. And it is very, very important house for Jupiter. We say Guru Upadesh comes from the 3rd house because it's all about hearing. And I didn't know that. After that, I came to know that Trump was very instrumental in starting the Jagannath Rath Yatra in New York. So that could be his Kriyaman karma, which in a way added like a shock absorber. So sometimes when people ask me, I say that, listen, some of the Dhrida karmas are impossible to stop. The only thing a good Vedic astrologer can do is help you add some shock absorbers. So even if your car is going through the speed breaker, you have good shock absorbers, so you aren't going to feel the damage too much. So when it comes to Trump, for example, even when we talked to the team and we told them to do that thing related to the McDonald's, right? It was related to Chandra. So that was something like a upahar or a remedy.
Correct.
And it is all about, that's called Raj Jyotishi, right? That's a difference in terms of, given a situation and we are 40 for 4, how do we reassess the situation and how do we then do something, so that we could play a Rishabh Pant like innings and get back into the game. So in a current situation, first I would say that, listen, Trump is actually going to be in a very, very aggressive mode, because the first year is all going to be about him and Mangal. There are only clear 2 choices that he is going to make. Mangal is about security and border. Mangal is about stopping wars. That doesn't mean that he is not ready to take on anybody. Trump being Trump, yes, he will. If somebody is going to say that I have a bomb, he is going to say that, oh, I have a bigger bomb and I have a bigger button. So that is so that is Trump, so he is mercurial at that level. And as I've already told, he is Leo Lagna. The problem with Leo Lagna is they have huge ego. And that's why I always tell, one of our Vedic secrets is that if you meet a person who is Leo Lagna, never sit exactly in front of them. Because a lion doesn't like somebody exactly in front of them. Always sit a little aside. I remember meeting a politician who was Leo Lagna, and he would always say, Kartik ji, aap jab bhi aate ho, kursi thoda side mein rakhte ho. And I said that, listen, you are Leo Lagna, at least I know a bit of Jyotish. I don't want to sit in front of you where you would start considering me as your competitor. I would rather sit in next to you to be complimented, and then you will think favorably for me. And then he came out with this thing that, okay, Kartik, this is exactly what happens. One of my friend used to sit in front of me and he gave me all the reasoning in terms of how many enemies he made, and all of them used to sit exactly in front of them. So one of the tip obviously is that he is Leo Lagna, but the good thing is that with Modi ji is very good with managing such people. Which with little bit of thoda bahut aadar satkar dena, give them respect, and then apna kaam nikalwana. But for him, as far as this specific year is concerned, considering he is going to be swearing in as the president, he is going to go all out. And he's not just speaking. In fact, he has already shown the symptoms that Mangal is business, and I want to work based on timelines. So everybody who is going to work with him is purely going to be on timelines, and he is going to give clear timelines, and there is going to be mass deportation. There is no two ways about it. Mangal means business, and one of the remedies, which I might say, would be that if he could do some Narsimha remedies. And I'm sure that he himself wouldn't do, but if he has got a team who can do some remedies for him, then yes, there are some Narsimha mantras that can be done, which will give him great edge in terms of the legal matters. His problem, the first major problem, is till mid of next year. The major problem later on comes after mid of 2027. So that June 2027 to approximately end of 2028 is the period which is going to be very, very defining. And that is a time where a major either recession is coming or there is a major war happening, but Trump is going to find himself in a very, very tricky situation. But that is not because of legal things, but because of the geopolitics, so to say.
Thank you so much, Kaartik ji. I just have one small update on the appointments. We have been covering this for a while, and we have been giving predictions. I'm just going to give an update. It'll just take 2 minutes of your time, because we are trying to get one cartoon that exactly fits what you said. Because we're trying to. This is from PGurus. The PGurus has been, very active in putting the right cartoon. Memes to aaj aaye hain. We have been doing it for a long time. So just wait for that. And I just want to give an update on the team that has been formed by Trump. Just give me 1 second here.
Sure.
There you go. That is the nuclear button.
Nice. Vote BJP ko jayega. That's one is classic. Rahul Gandhi giving his 2 cents.
Because India is always in election mode, there is always something happening. So about the team that is forming around Trump, let me just give you an update, viewers. So here we are going to have a more detailed one in probably the next few hours, but just take a quick look at this. 𝗠cie Viles is the chief of staff, confirmed. Tom Homan, we had something else for him, but he is now the border czar. Border czar is the one who's going to be instrumental in this deportation stuff. And we have, again, in the video, we'll show you what happened with Tom and, his confrontations with AOC, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, as well as Pramila Jayapal, and what kind of arrogance these Democratic Congresswomen displayed. They all will have to sit and eat humble pie. They're all elected. They are going to come and sit and eat humble pie now. And then we also predicted Defense Secretary for Mike Pompeo. That was wrong. He has been dumped. 𝗬𝗟 Stefanik, we had predicted that she would become the US ambassador to UN. Spot on. Another thing that we had predicted, bang on. He is the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. So when we do it, like we did this thing this was the first thing, 6th or 7th November with Sridhar Chittiala. That's when we had done these things. You can see a lot of our predictions are coming right, as well as Kash Patel, who is now the director of CIA. We had a slightly different role for him. So you can see that much of this stuff has been right. And here is a picture of me and Sridhar Chittiala ji with 𝗬𝗟 Stefanik. This is sometime in 2021. I had gone down to Trump's golf course. This is off of New Jersey, and that's where I met the ex-president at that time, Donald Trump, as well as 𝗬𝗟 Stefanik. So good luck to 𝗬𝗟 Stefanik. She's a very, very nice person, and I presented my book, this one, I don't know if she had a chance to read it or not, but at least some of the lessons learned there is what helped them win back the presidency this time. I'm still waiting for Kaartik ji to rejoin. Let's play this one video where you can see.
Mr. Holman, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says,
okay, there's a story behind this. Tom Homan got nominated by the Trump administration in 2017 as an interim director of Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. From 2017 to 2018, the Senate did not approve his nomination. They just strung him along and along and along. And I think some of the people in Republican Party itself were against Tom Homan. Viewers, understand one thing. In politics, there's very, very gray areas where even though somebody may be in a certain party, his thoughts or her thoughts may be slightly different. It all depends upon what are the other things that are using to control this person. So that time he could not make it through. And then after that, this time, that's why Trump has appointed him as border czar. Border czar is a position that does not require Senate confirmation. He is appointed means he's appointed. So I was just talking about Tom Homan, Kaartik ji. This guy is the border czar, and he is very, very clear what needs to happen. Just watch because it's a little bit more detailed than just AOC. You will know exactly what we're talking about. Kaartik ji, thank you so much for bringing up this one point about people being sent back, the illegals being sent back.
Is Kash Patel also confirmed?
Yes, director of CIA. Yes, Kash Patel is director of CIA. Marco Rubio, he has actually made a stunning statement today. He said Palestine never existed and it's not going to exist ever. I mean, it is so direct. Again, I'm going to give you that information, viewers, with Sumit Peer, because we're going to be looking again at Middle East as the some things have changed there. We will show you what the Secretary of State designate has said about Middle East. Stunning revelations. So yes, this was our prediction, Kaartik ji. See, so this also we came right. Couple of things we got wrong. Of course, it was not going to be 100% right.
Correct.
And what we were very happy about was this, 𝗤𝘗𝘆 Stefanik, and because I had an opportunity to meet her. I met her in 2021, and very charming person, very, very nice. And so we'll wait and see how things develop. Best of luck to her. Now let's if you want to conclude, Kaartik ji, you can conclude. Then we have a few questions for you, sir.
Sure. So see, net what I wanted to say is it is going to be an excellent period for India and US, but at the same time there are going to be challenges. Challenges would be more in terms of the trade. See, the way I look at it, there are two major steps in which Trump is going to work. One is currently Mangal, where because he's Leo Lagna with Mangal in Lagna. So that is going to be his first priority because Sudarshana is also there. The second priority after that, once he's going to stop the war, Ukraine, Israel, and obviously the immigrant issues and all, the second priority in that order is going to be finance, basically the economy. And that is where Bharat and US will have some tough negotiations. So it's not going to be all hunky-dory, but then that is expected, because there are two hard bargainers, there are two nationalists, so to say. Modi ji and BJP government has its own local for vocal and make in India. America wants to, or Trump rather wants to make America great again. So it is understandable that there is going to be a tough bargain. But net, what I want to say is this is a fantastic election actually for a lot of countries, not only India. You look at Russia, I've made a prediction on the day of the war that, listen, it is impossible to defeat Russia. And whatever land it has got, you forget you will ever get that land back. Putin will never negotiate on that. So all those things are going to there, especially in terms of handling China. Let us not forget that part. Somewhere down the line, probably China understood that it's going to be a Trump election, and probably the election has gone to a level where it is not possible to rig. So they were smart enough just before the BRICS, they did that retreat. And then there is going to be more pressure going to coming on China, because we have to understand that Trump is a very gutsy guy. And then I respect him for that. He was the only guy in 2020 to say openly it is China virus. No other political leader had even the guts to say that.
Yes.
And he always said, what is this COVID and all? No, it is China virus. It is China virus. CHINA, China. So we need to give that to Trump. Trump is Trump, no doubt. Certain level mercurial. But what gives me hope is a stable leader or in a stable mind like Modi ji and Jaishankar ji. And these are the people who can manage his ego, and later on via that they can get a lot of work done, which will help us a lot, especially in Quad and I2U2. This were all under Biden had lost its importance. Now with Trump coming in, US would look much better, and frankly speaking, countries globally would start again feeling a little bit more respectful. Sometimes, जैसे बोलते हैं, भाई बिन होए ना प्रीत. So at least they will be scared of Trump, which was not the case under Biden at all. So that is my thing. Last point which I wanted to say is when I talked about the challenges, and that is the period where roughly between mid of 2027 to end of 2028, that is going to be extremely challenging period for Trump. And again, it is going to be all put together, because it is very clear that there is going to be some sort of a recession which is going to be there. Hence, the second year when I'm saying that when the Sudarshana is going to be in the second house, which is Jupiter, aspected by a malefic, that important decisions has to be made based on economy, and he has to get manufacturing back into US. If he can do that, they will survive that period. What I'm saying is mid of 2027 much better. Otherwise, America is going to have a great challenge.
Thank you so much. And now we have a few questions for you, Kaartik ji, if you don't mind answering them.
Sure.
Thank you. First question is from 𝗤𝙑 FCRK. बहुत thank you so much. Look at Republican Party chart. It's gonna get interesting. Also, it's not Republican Party that won. It's outsider Trump who won. So you need to look holistically. Absolutely right, 𝗤𝙑 FCRK. I think you also dabble in astrology, because sometimes you come up with some predictions. Sir, this is Trump's party. This is not Republican Party. This is Trump's party. I completely agree with you on that. In fact, the first term, he had this difficulty. Mitch McConnell and that guy from Utah, senator, who also ran for president against Obama and lost. Second time. I'm trying to remember his name. It's not coming. He's a Wall Street guy. And these people are all against him. And even Dick Cheney. Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney has made billions in that, what's that, Gulf War is all his making. So anyway, so we have all these things. You have two contrasts in vice president. Kamala, who did nothing, and Dick Cheney, who did everything.
Exactly.
Over to you.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. It is going to be that period which I said between 2027 and 2028, especially after May, June, is the period when he is going to be cornered from more sides than one. So I'm sure in every, as we say in political terms, जो आपके enemies होती है, शत्रु होते हैं, वो पार्टी के अंदर ही होते हैं. So वो पार्टी के बाहर का तो शत्रु बाद में आप मैनेज करोगे. First and foremost, your adversaries and political enemies are all within the party. So, but that he will be able to manage till mid of 2027. But mid of 2027 is what I am worried about, because that is when there are multiple things that will happen. And that's why I already gave a heads up that if he manages that economy part and if he brings the manufacturing back to US, he would do well in managing those adversaries.
Next one, please. Thank you, High Flyer. Trump life danger till June 25. Do you see this? Another aspiring astrologer.
Yes, in a way, but that's more from the judiciary part. So now actually see the shooting, etc., or what had to happen. Obviously, as a president, you are always under risk. That's not and that too, US president definitely, and more so Trump, because he has openly said that he is going to go after the deep state, and not only say, he has already started. So he has already shown that he is under no intention, and it was not just a poll rhetoric, and he is going to go for that. But technically speaking, I feel uh, his is much better now. His problems now would be more of legal part of it, and with his close people coming in, like Kash Patel and everybody, I think he would be much better off.
Kartik ji, before we go to the next question, I just have one thing to add. He's got this habit, or his this gift of making things very simple. He's telling his viewers, his audience, that look, I have two columns: promises made, promises kept. Anybody can understand. Okay, I promised this, I kept this promise. I promised this, I kept this promise. So it's very easy for somebody to take khata at any point in his presidency. Yeah, he made this promise. So this is where he really scores over many other politicians. He can talk to you, he can communicate with you very effectively, especially in those large meetings that one saw. Next question, please. Bharatam wants to know, will Vivek Ramaswamy get any portfolio, sir?
Interesting. I would not have his chart, so I can't say specifically. But if you ask my view, definitely he is a brilliant asset, and he brings a lot to the table. And either he is in the party, he is out of party, but he will definitely be in a very high position sooner or later. He's an awesome guy. There is no two ways about it.
And next one, please. C.A. Vishwanathan, thank you so much. Will India enter a recession due to Trump's presidency, and will India-US relations deteriorate significantly?
Recession, I've already said that it's going to be after mid of 2027 is when I see. India-US election, in fact, won't deteriorate. It's already deteriorated to a level where the way 𝗤𝙭𝗪 talks to Anthony Blinken, that you can look at our human rights and we are looking at your human rights. So that wouldn't have been possible maybe just 5-10 years back. No other external affairs minister would talk to an American so-called dignitary like that. But the fact of the matter is, it is very bad considering what is happening in Canada, the Khalistani issue. Everybody knows that Trudeau cannot be speaking so much without CIA's green signal. So it is very clear that things are very bleak. Outside it looks okay, but with Trump coming in, actually it will only get better. The only area where we will have so-called friendly fight is on trade, in terms of who gets what. I'm obviously, lot of business is going to come back from China. A lot of people are going to be relocating, and India is going to be a top contender because America alone cannot manage all that business, and also the cost and the overheads and all. So India will actually net gain a lot, and the relationships will actually become better. As I said, even the Quad, will be much more potent organization with Trump coming in.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you so much, Kartik ji. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Kartik ji will be back in about a couple of weeks' time, I'm hoping, so we can talk a little bit more about the appointments. And by that time, some other things also will start happening. Remember, viewers, he is still not the president yet. Till January 2025, he's got a transition team. So much water is going to flow down. In fact, there was this outrageous suggestion that Kamala Harris should be made president and that Biden should step down. For what, one wonders? It's a lame duck presidency from this point forward. But people are not stopping. Somehow there is a disbelief that we tried so hard to steal the election and we didn't win it. I'm just blown away by the arrogance even today of the Democrats. It's just mind blowing. I don't know if you've been watching some of these things, Kaartik ji. Last one thing before I wrap this up. Viewers, there are a couple of series on Netflix. If you like this kind of political intrigues as to which country controls which other country, this stuff, there are two series I would recommend. One is called The Diplomat, 2 seasons so far. This is on Netflix. Have you seen Diplomat?
Yes. Yeah?
Fantastic. So you understand where I'm coming from, right? And the other one is called Secret City, and that's also on Netflix. I think it's 3 seasons thus far. And do watch these things, because you can get an idea that whatever is happening in the real life is actually being mirrored in some of these series, and they tell you which way the currents are flowing. Very, very interesting stuff. So thank you so much, Kaartik ji. Maybe we'll talk about some of these series as a next episode or something like that, where we can see how fiction mirrors reality. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Namah Shivaya.
Thank you.